Live from Azure, Kentucky, this is Jammin John's Wrestling News. Here's your news for Tuesday, September 25th, 2018. TMZ.com noted the following regarding Liv Morgan being injured by Brie Bella's yes kicks on last night's Raw. TMZ.com said, "We reached out to WWE to find out how Liv was doing, and we were told she was later diagnosed with a concussion and is now going through the proper protocol under the company's comprehensive wellness program. According to the wellness program guidelines, Liv will have to be medically cleared before she can return to action. No word on how long that's expected to take." Meanwhile, Gail Kim defended Brie Bella with the following tweet on Twitter, "I'm sure it was an accident. We are in the world of pro wrestling after all. Injuries unfortunately happen." A fan by the name of Travis Wynn replied back to Gail Kim's tweet by tweeting, "She was completely reckless and has been since she's returned right now. She has no business in the ring. She's a liability, but they don't care because she's a Bella and makes them money. More than likely Liv will get the blame from the WWE." To which Gail Kim fired back at Travis Wynn by tweeting, "Well then that's on the company as well if that was true. True professionals never intentionally hurt others in the ring. I know I would rather be the one who got hurt than the alternative. Brie has never shown non-professionalism as long as I've ever worked with her." Stay tuned to Jammin John's Wrestling News for any further updates on this breaking news story. And once again, well wishes out to Liv Morgan. Horrible to hear about that she suffered a concussion. You know, you hate to see this stuff happen in pro wrestling. Unfortunately, it does happen. Stuff like this does. Some even more severe. Remember, I think it was Draws back in 2000 took a pile driver in the turnbuckle wrong from D'Lo Brown, and he's paralyzed, from the neck down, I believe. That's a horrible thing to hear about, and I really hope that she's able to return to wrestling and she's able to get back in the ring. Last night's Monday Night Raw viewership was down to 2.350 million viewers from last week's 2.672 million average. Here are the hourly numbers from ShowBuzzDaily.com. Hour number 1, 2.493 million viewers. Hour number 2, 2.275 million viewers. And hour number 3, 2.281 million viewers. While WWE did have some heavy TV competition, including Monday Night Football, viewership was down 19% from the 2.91 million viewers that Raw did at this time 1 year ago. This week's viewership is believed to be the lowest ever for Raw in recent memory and perhaps in the entire history of the show. PWIinsider.com is reporting that The Undertaker was backstage at Raw last night to participate in a photo shoot. With Shawn Michaels scheduled for next week's Raw, there is belief that Undertaker will be a part of next week's show as well. During a recent interview with What Culture, Shane Hurricane Helms commented on a possible return to WWE by saying, "I mean, anything could happen. I got a family, so there is a big dollar sign attached. I'd have to consider my kids. I had a wonderful career in WWE. I had nothing bad to say about them. Even my Rumble experience back in January was fantastic. I just debuted on Storytime on the network. I got a wonderful relationship with them. I got some other stuff coming up with them. Anything long term that could happen, there would have to be some compromise in coming together. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I'm a winter chicken, so I can deal with that." Thanks to RingsideNews.com for a quote. James Storm recently appeared on Busted Open Radio, and here are a few highlights from his interview. On his first run with NXT, James Storm said, "I went down to NXT and talked to Hunter, and then I went back again, and I had another match with them, and Impact had put an offer out on me, and so did NXT. But I even actually sat down with Hunter and had the contract with me and was like, this is what Impact is offering and everything. And tell you the truth, it wasn't even about the money, because I told him the situation that a lot of people don't know about is that me and my wife was trying to have another kid. And it was just one of those deals where if you're with WWE, you might as well forget it because you're on the road so much." He was telling me that they were going to run a 100 to 125 dates with NXT, and I was explaining to him about my personal life. I was trying to have a baby and everything right now, and he basically told me, "Look, go get your life straight and then get yourself in the best shape you can, and in 2 years let's see if we can do business again." And on a potential WWE return, James Storm said, "Yeah, Now, even if you follow me on social media, you can see that I'm in the best shape I've ever been in my entire career, and it's just one of those things where, I basically just kind of want to prove it to myself as well. Thanks to WrestleZone.com for the quotes. During a recent interview with TVInsider.com, Carmella commented on being teamed up with R-Truth for the Mixed Match Challenge. Carmella said, "It's only been a few weeks, so it's crazy it has turned into this. That's the same thing with Big E and the New Day. I didn't really know them until we were paired together for the Mixed Match Challenge. We just had this instant connection and great chemistry. It was just fun. I'm game to make a fool of myself. I don't care. I'm game to have a good time and play a character and know my role. Whether it was being a manager for Enzo and Big Cass in NXT and then with James Ellsworth and now with R-Truth. It's cool to show different sides of myself and my character. I feel like not that many people get to do that. They sort of stay the same their entire career. But I totally am open to all aspects of Carmella." Carmella continued on by saying, "The other night Truth had a match with Andrade Cien Almas and Selena Vega was out there. I pulled her off the apron and the crowd went nuts. I think when there is this intergender concept that's happening, it's different. You don't know what is happening or what to expect, where if it's just a woman's match, you know they are going to fight. But when there are men and women involved, you just don't know. I think it's unexpected." In a recent interview with Inside the Ropes, Finn Balor was asked about a possible match with Brock Lesnar in WWE. Finn Balor said, "Well, I don't make that decision. I'm just very low on the totem pole with regards to who makes the matches. But obviously I would love that Brock Lesnar match more than anyone. I think it's the classic David versus Goliath match. I don't think it's very much like a match I've had before, or he has had before maybe. Someone who had a very brief crossing of the paths with in New Japan. When I was in Japan as a young boy, he was in Japan as a champion. He was the New Japan champion. And do you know what he did? He walked out on the company and destroyed the reputation of the IWGP Championship. He's kind of doing the same thing again now. Honestly, when Brock's music hits, everyone pays attention. Despite all this talk about, oh, he's not there every week, he's not the best, I know that when his music hits and he walks out. I'm invested and I'm intrigued to see what is going to happen. There is certainly an aurora that Brock carries that nobody else carries. That's the title aurora that I want to be in the ring with, and I want to feel and experience it." Finn Balor continued on by saying, "When I first came up through the WWE, I wrestled Roman, obviously on Raw. Beat him on my first night, no big deal. But a couple weeks later we did it at the No Mercy pay-per-view, was it? No, the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. It was a 5-way. It was like me, Samoa Joe, somebody else, and Roman. Everyone came to the ring and then Roman's music hit, and I'm not kidding. It was the most insane reaction I've ever experienced in my life. That type of reaction is the type of thing that I want to be involved in. That feeling that Brock gives you when he walks to the ring and that aurora that Roman has when he walks to the ring. They are the type of moments that this business is built on." Thanks to RingsideNews.com for the quotes. Also, big congratulations to Kofi Kingston. He has set a new record today with the most days spent as a WWE Tag Team title holder. At 954 days, Kofi has now broken Billy Gunn's record of 953 days as a Tag Team Champion and Mr. Fuji's record of 932 days. Well deserved for Kofi Kingston. Also, finally, here on Jammin John's Wrestling News, want to send a big shout out to Dustin Thomas, who made his wrestling debut last night, I believe. Dustin is a wrestler with no legs. His match has went viral online. If you haven't seen it, definitely go look it up. It's very inspiring and very awesome to watch. So once again, big shout out to Dustin Thomas. You got a very bright future in this business, kid. That is your news for Tuesday, September 25th, 2018. Check back here tomorrow for another Jammin John's Wrestling News Flash Briefing on Amazon Alexa devices. Big shout out to everybody listening to this on YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Stewie Family is the name. Follow me on Twitter at John Caldwell, JONCOLWELL. Follow me on Instagram, the Jammin John. If you'd like to sponsor Jammin John's Wrestling News or your wrestling promotion, wanting to get your next big event out through the awesome power of Amazon Alexa, you can email me, jzcaldwell@gmail.com. That's JZCOLWELL@gmail.com. Big shout out to Ryan Hurdle and Tony Nelson for subscribing to my Patreon. You too can subscribe to me by going to patreon.com/jamminjohn. I have free packages on there ranging from $3 to $7. Not a whole lot of money, I would really appreciate it if you supported me a little bit financially. Once again, that's patreon.com/JamminJohn. This is Jammin John saying thanks, goodbye, I'll see you tomorrow.